What's going on, everybody? This is MDENT313, and I'm back at y'all with another one. Listen, my Detroit Lions held their composure and got the job done against a playoff caliber team. As I told you guys, the Rams is an elite team, and the LA Rams will dethrone the San Francisco 49ers to claim the NFC West Championship. Matthew Stafford was on fire all game long. And keep in mind, Puka Nacua went out in the second half. Puka Nacua started off on fire. Cooper Kupp turned into the Cooper Kupp of old. 15 receptions, over 100 yards, a touchdown. He was magnificent. Matthew Stafford hit 5 or 6 different receivers. Kyren Williams was doing this thing. The defense, even though Aaron Darnold retired, the young players on defense, Byron Young, Jared Verse, man, they held it down and they played excellent. But my Detroit Lions offensive line was too strong, too dominant. The running game was spectacular. Montgomery and Gibbs was doing their thing all night long. Both of those guys scored a touchdown. But I want to give credit to Jameson Williams. Was he phenomenal tonight? He stepped up for Sam Laporta. He stepped up for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And when I say he was catching everything, burning the corners deep, running good, over 100 yards, he had a touchdown himself. Listen, my Detroit Lions can't be faded, right? We winning the Super Bowl this year. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. A lot of people upset about it. But in the words of Lamar from BMF, you can't stop the rain. You can't stop the rain when it starts to pour. And the rain for the Detroit Lions is that offensive line and that running game. I will tell you this, though. The only thing that I'm worried about is our defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. I'm particularly not happy a lot of times with how his game planning, right? I personally believe that we're playing way too much zone. Even last year, I thought we overly played too much zone. And I understand you may feel like you don't have the cornerbacks to compete with the elite level wide receivers, but I'd rather take my chances with that versus getting cooked all in the middle of the field. I mean, we don't have, like, when you playing a zone defense, in my opinion, you need to have a great defensive line. Now, I know we picked up DJ Reader. He didn't play tonight. And I know Aiden Hutchinson is phenomenal off the edge, but we don't have another edge rusher or a super dominant defensive lineman that can consistently collapse the pocket, or another edge rusher to help Aiden Hutchinson dominate, right? And the problem is, when you play in a zone defense and you don't have a elite level defensive line, you give elite level quarterbacks like a Matthew Stafford or a Dak Prescott or Patrick Mahomes or I wouldn't consider Brock Purdy elite, but he's solid. CJ Stroud, he still got to prove more to be elite. But Aaron Rodgers, right? Even a Baker Mayfield. I mean, I'll be honest. But point being, when you playing an elite level quarterback and you playing a lot of zone, they're too smart in processing what you're doing. Especially if that quarterback, if he got a elite level offensive coordinator, they're going to pick you apart. All in the middle of the field, all on the edges, especially when they know what you're doing. It was too many times tonight where Matthew Stafford didn't even have to look at his second or third read. He knew right where he was going with the ball based on the defense that y'all playing. And sometimes you have to take chances. Now, I know that Cooper Kupp was having his way with Terry and Arnold tonight, but you got to live and die with that. Sometimes, I'm not saying the whole game, but at least half and half. At least when you playing man-to-man, that kind of tends to help out your defensive lineman. But when you playing a zone and your defensive line can't get penetration, I mean, you're going to get picked apart. The good news is our defense, when it came to, for the most part, minus the second half, of keeping the Rams out of the end zone, but they was getting big chunks and marching down the field and getting into the red zone way too often. And you don't want to do that with too many elite level quarterbacks. Now, if you kind of want to risk it with mediocre quarterbacks like a Sam Darnold or Will Levis or a Caleb Williams, you know what I'm saying? Like younger guys who are decent, but they're not elite level, like a Kyler Murray, like guys of that sort. You can do that, but you cannot play that way against elite level quarterbacks. They too smart, they too accurate, they too sharp, and they too quick processing where the holes are. Tom Brady made a living off of that. Killed you all in the middle of the field. But shout out to the Detroit Lions showing their resolve, showing their patience, their veteran leadership, stayed poised, stayed under control, executed when they needed to execute. It took a while for the offense to get going in the second half, but we finally put it together and made it happen. Shout out to the Detroit Lions and your future Super Bowl champs. I'm telling you right now, man, y'all can just go ahead and airmail that Vince Lombardi trophy to Ford Field. Like, share, and subscribe.